Getting to know uSponsor. What is uSponsor? uSponsor is an online tool that allows your organization to manage sponsors. What can you do with uSponsor? With uSponsor, you can maintain a database of your sponsors, including each sponsor's address, contact information, logo, donation history, and other notes. You can also assign team members to sponsors to help coordinate and avoid duplicate efforts. You can also collaborate and share sponsor information and status with your entire team. uSponsor also allows you to keep track of sponsor donations across all of your events. And uSponsor allows you to share documents and other marketing tools online. And all of this can be done from any computer or mobile device. The typical uSponsor workflow would be to brainstorm a list of potential sponsors for an event, assign those sponsors to team members, have your team members get out there and meet the sponsors, and finally share in each other's success. Let's move on to the demo. Upon logging into uSponsor, you'll see your administration panel. This has 4 sections: general administration, where it lets you specify some this general information about your organization. It has a few other tools. Sponsor management section, which is the main section you'll be using to manage your sponsors and their donations. There's also an event management section where you can add new events that you'll be obtaining sponsors for. And the last section is user management section, where you could add more users to your uSponsor account. Let's begin by adding a new event. We'll call this Fall Festival, and you can specify the date of that event. And once you have an event created, you'll want to start brainstorming some potential sponsors for that event. So you can go up to the sponsor management section and click on Brainstorm. This is really just a simple form to quickly add the minimum information for sponsors, just their names. Just brainstorm a bunch of sponsors that you might want to contact for your event. Let's put a couple in here. ABC Grocers. Billy Bob's Barbecue. Car King. It could be any local businesses, national businesses, any sponsors you want. Potentially ask if they can be sponsors. Optionally, you could enter some quick notes about the sponsors if you knew them. Like, this is owned by Timmy's dad. And you can even assign the sponsors to members of your team right here if you wanted to. Click Add Sponsors. It keeps you on this page. You keep adding as many as you want. They'll list them down here so you can kind of see which ones are already listed. Again, the idea here is that you just brainstorm a list of people, sponsors you want to get out there and ask. When you're done, you can go back to your admin panel. From here, you could actually, there's other options. You can add individual sponsors if you want to. You can edit the sponsors individually. For instance, we'll go ahead and click on Edit Existing Sponsor. Let's put one that we just added. ABC Grocers, I think, was one. Here you go, and you can see for each sponsor, you can actually add a ton of information. You don't have to. You can just keep it the name for each one. But you can also keep a bunch of other information or fill this in as you get actually, as sponsors say they're going to be a sponsor, then you can add this additional information. For instance, if we were to go to another one, let me go back to the admin panel. Let's go ahead and do a lookup sponsor. This is another one that already had that information filled in. So the benefit when you fill that information is that you'll have all that information at your fingertips. You could click on here to go to their website. If you're accessing this from a mobile device, click on the address and it will launch directions to get to the sponsor's location. If you're accessing this from a mobile device, you could actually click on these phone numbers and it'll call them. Or of course you can launch your email program. So over time, it may pay to spend the extra effort and fill in the additional information for each sponsor. If you needed sponsor logos, say you're putting them on t-shirts, there's even an option to upload a logo for each sponsor. So you could add each sponsor's logo and store that. And of course, for each sponsor, there is a status. You can just keep a simple status for each sponsor, or actually add donations and keep a record of donations over time. So you can see from previous years what donations they've made. There's even a little thank you feature here, where if you wanted to send them a thank you, you can click on that. It'll actually send them an email. You can type in here that serves a dual purpose. Not only does it thank them, but when you get this link, if they follow their link, this is the same link they would get emailed. If you were to open that up, this is what they would see. It actually is a receipt that they could print out, or in this case, it also has some supporting documents too. For instance, if they needed your tax exemption certificate, this link would also be a way to let them easily get to your tax exemption certificate. Just an additional option. Handwritten notes are always nice too. Going back to this panel, there's many other features for managing sponsors. Quick links into looking them up, quick links to adding the logos, adding the donations. Another nice feature down here is, say you just want to see the sponsors that are assigned to you. You can click on View Your Sponsor Assignments, and it'll bring up a list of the sponsors that you're supposed to care about, and you could click on any of them and update the status of them if you wanted to, hit edit, and change anything as you find out, including updating the status or add the donations. Let's go back to the control panel. And you can also see what sponsors haven't been assigned to anyone yet. So if you're looking for something to do, you could click on that and get the next sponsor in the list to go contact. And finally, there's a run sponsor reports feature, which is a quick and easy way you can select your event or just do all the events and see the overall status of those events. Let me run this. And then you can see an overall view of all the status of all the sponsors, and if they had donations, and of course you can click on any of the links to go right to the details of that particular sponsor as well. So it's another valuable tool. And one last thing I'll also point out too is up in the general section, there's a couple options. One, you can send messages to all the users. Those are your use sponsor users that basically you can send a message to your whole team if you wanted to, an easy way to do that. And here's where you can also upload documents that you might want to share, and you can specify which ones are private or public. The private ones only your team will see, but the public ones are the ones that will show up like on the receipts if you use the thank you feature. And that is a quick introduction to uSponsor. Thank you.